Ready? All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Reveal. This is this is fantastic. I believe you're right behind yourself.
Yeah, I am. You didn't know Tyler Hynes is going to be on the show today?
What? Well, Kristin, that sounds great. I don't have a hat for Ted Lasso, but I do have a mustache.
Also, the pea coat was a warm choice for indoors. I'm gonna say.
This is our Halloween episode. Do we need to explain that?
I hope not.
I think that's start the episode.
Roll the credits.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Welcome to our Halloween edition of Remark. I am one of your hosts, Ted Lasso.
I am your other host, Tyler Hynes.
Tyler, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. White heart emoji. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so we are recording this on Halloween. You're probably not watching it on Halloween because I can't edit that quickly. And but thank you for watching another episode of Remark. We are talking about week 2 of the countdown to Christmas. Kristin, I'm just gonna keep looking at you, and it's fantastic.
It's dreamy, isn't it? Listen, I chose a crisp white shirt, all my favorite things.
Yeah.
I chose a crisp white shirt. I chose a nice, well-fitted pea coat and my Hufflepuff scarf, of course.
I need to shave and have awesome tattoos and just be the coolest person I know, and I will be Halloween costume you. So would you do me a favor? We can role play. Would you go ahead and attempt to take off your pea coat? Oh no, you don't have to do that. You can keep that on. And now, obviously, everyone, please email remarkshow@gmail.com angrily at Kristin for telling Tyler Hynes to not take his jacket off, or he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
Yeah.
Listen, I gave him this option. Ugh, I regret it.
Yeah. We've since made up. So
it's fine.
So we are talking week 2 of the countdown to Christmas. So we're talking a cozy Christmas Inn. We're talking jolly good Christmas. We're talking Christmas bedtime stories, and we're talking ghosts of Christmas always. Before we get deep into this, though, I do want to very quickly mention a couple quick things. One, last week we got a message last week from somebody who was a little bit upset, and I can appreciate that, because they felt we kind of gave like short shrift to the review of We Need a Little Christmas.
Right.
Because we only reviewed it for 3 minutes. And I just want to explain one more time, and we will explain it right before we do it. We spin this wheel, and the wheel determines how much time we will actually talk about the movie. And
we're not picking these. Why would we have a wheel? They got so angry at us.
This cost $30, so good purchase, bad purchase.
Remark doesn't have a budget, so Venmo me at Kristin.
I bought this. How dare you? Venmo me. I mean, it was not a commentary on the movie. I like the movie. I do want to bring this up too. We put up a poll, and there's a poll up now in the field. So if you go to our Twitter at Remark the Show, you can rate the movies from this past week of which you like the most. So this, as you can see, it's up, Chris, I promise, is the ratings for last week as you, our listeners, chose. So Noel Next Door got 25%. We Need a Little Christmas got 12.5%, and then We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Kismet Christmas tied at 31.3%. So clear favorites.
I get it.
Yeah, clear favorites across the board there, but overall an excellent week. I would imagine this week is going to be very similar. So
I think so. This week was stacked. Also,
Yeah.
speaking of stacked, Tyler's going to take his coat off. It is very hot.
Okay. Yeah.
It's getting spicy.
You know
up in
let me
here.
match you. I will take my whistle off. Good call. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, that feels better.
So I thought this weekends were amazing.
Yes.
Is it like, why were some of these before the, like, you know, they always say like, oh, I think they put the like, we got to try these before the like actual Christmas season. But then this weekends were great.
They were great. I honestly, I think that it really comes down. I mean, again, we always compare, and we're going to a lot tonight. We always compare Hallmark to Marvel and just the way things are laid out. And, you know, there were some politics that were involved that changed when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was going to come out, and then they flipped it with Thor, and it kind of changed things, and it changed the way they could tell the story. My guess is not so much with this, but they probably, as things are coming back and they go, okay, this is going to be more difficult to film because we're filming in England. So that's what we're going to put at this point. You know, so that would be my assumption.
Maybe. Yeah.
We will be talking to a couple people throughout the season who are involved with Hallmark, and as they come up, we will let you know about them. But also, I also want to do a moment of last week. I said something. Kristin said something. Kristin was right, and I was less right. So, and what it was is we were talking about A Kismet Christmas, and there's a flashback scene in which Carlo Marx, do it, Chris, even with your out, can you do the Carlo Marx? Because tonight we're gonna be. And Sarah Ramos, it was a flashback scene, and I said, foolishly, well, that wasn't Sarah Ramos, it was a young actor they had cast, and they dubbed her voice in. And I said, if anybody out there feels otherwise or knows otherwise, please email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com. And somebody did reach out to us. And that somebody was Betsy Morris, the screenwriter of A Kismet Christmas. And she said to us that 100% was Sarah Ramos. So I apologize. Yeah, I was less correct than I thought I was.
Do you think we could just trust that Kristin is always right at this point?
No. I've been married for 20 years, and I still am wrong all the time, and I still always have the fights with my wife, and I say, oh, no, it's this, and she's like, no, it's not, and I go, let's go to whatever. So that's also why I had to buy a wheel. It helps.
It helps those, you spin the wheel to see who's right. I get it. That's fine. Should we get into this weekend's movies?
I don't know. I kind of want to. It's time to make the donuts. It feels like with this mustache.
Oh, your mustache.
Yeah.
I look like my brother, and it's creeping me out. Like,
I will tell you who I think you look like when we get to another movie coming up. But yes, let's spin the wheel and determine how long we are going to talk about the first movie, which is A Cozy Christmas Inn. Go to the wheel. All right. So again, as last week, let me give you a quick rundown, and then Chris, I'm going to hit 7 minutes. You start talking.
Great.
A Cozy Christmas, Friday, October 28th, starring Jodie Sweetin. We know from Marion Bright, with our friend Andrew Walker. Also Full and Fuller House. I love Jodie Sweetin. David O'Donnell from Christmas Under Wraps with Candace Cameron Bure. That might come up again. And Vivica A. Fox.
Might come up again.
Yeah, might come up. And Vivica A. Fox as Copperhead in Kill Bill. Oh, baby. That made me so happy when I saw she was in this. So this one is written by Jennifer Notis Shapiro, who wrote A Christmas Treasure with Jordan Sparks from last year, if you recall, and also the screenplay to Christmas Under Wraps. Coincidence. Directed by Peter Sullivan, who has done a ton of Christmas movies, including a little something that we haven't mentioned previously on the show that I can recall, Christmas Under Wraps. And I do want to say this, too. Peter Sullivan was born with severe hearing loss, and he often incorporates that into his films, which is awesome. He reads lips, and I believe he speaks sign as well, and he can speak, but it's just very, very interesting to me. I don't feel that happened in this film, but it's something to think about as we go forward. So
that's
very
cool.
quickly.
Quickly.
The Hallmark.
Let's hear what they have to say.
real estate exec Erica McNichol. We have a friend, Erica McNichol.
We have a friend, Erica McNichol. It was very confusing.
It was. Travels to Alaska during the holidays. Alaska is where Christmas Under Wraps took place. How bizarre. To acquire a B&B or an inn, only to discover it's owned by her ex. Soon she is falling in love with the town and quite possibly him. Kristen Finger.
Yes.
Are you ready for 7 minutes?
Yes.
Hit it.
Okay, so this apparently is categorized technically as a sequel. And on the Hallmark groups, I learned that Candace Cameron Bure actually asked Jodie Sweetin to be in this one.
Okay.
So people were hating on like, ooh, look at that rivalry, blah, blah, blah. No, they're friends. And they thought it would be funny, which I thought was really cool because Erica McNichol's best friend, what was her name and her restaurant's name, Kevin?
Stephanie. I loved
Stephanie.
that. Yes. Yeah.
And then the bit of like where Candace Cameron's character went, San Diego, which was where what famous show? Oh, San Francisco.
San Francisco,
which was what famous show?
Fuller House.
Correct. So I did find this a very interesting idea of a sequel because we saw the sequel to 9 Lives of Christmas with but it was the same couple and this was a different couple.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool. And I know a lot of folks are hating on it or not hating on it, but just not feeling the vibe of it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I like Jodie Sweetin a lot.
I love her. I think she's great. I really like this film. It's funny though. I wonder. Somebody had commented. I wish I had taken note of who the person was. Would this film have been as good if they weren't falling back on all of those connections? And
I think so.
You do think so? Okay.
I do because I had literally just rewatched Unwrapping Christmas maybe like 7 days before this because it was just replaying, and then watching this so closely, I was like, oh, this is literally they're doing all the same bits. And I did a tally. They say that's Garland for you 8.5 times.
8.5? How the half?
Because he starts going, that's Gara. And she's like, I know, and cuts him off. So it's 8.5.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we did have a lot going on in this one. It reminded me a little bit of Let It Snow as well, which was also a Candace Cameron movie where she does go to a bed and breakfast. She's Alan Thicke's daughter, the late, great Alan Thicke. She is his daughter, and she goes to acquire this bed and breakfast that the parents are selling, but the kid wants.
Kevin, you're explaining another movie.
I know, and we only have 4 minutes and 34 seconds left. I apologize. My bad. Listen, Kit and I have been watching a lot of Zombies, the movie Zombies on Disney. Let me explain that to you.
So good.
We should talk about that. Maybe we'll do one.
Okay. My favorite side hustle in this one was giving Hattie a love interest.
Yeah.
Because I loved Hattie from the first one, and they gave Hattie more of a voice in this one. And Cousin Joy was phenomenal.
Yeah, Cousin Joy was great, but it made the character of Claire Collins, the kind of town busybody, almost superfluous. And I don't know how necessary she was. And then we had Ed. So we started painting the town, which was nice. I did find Joy and Frank odd in the sense that they never interacted with anyone else. And I wondered if there was COVID protocol that was in place.
Perhaps they only filmed in that one spot, and the gentleman playing Frank like never stood.
The gentleman? Are you talking about Brian Doyle Murray of the famous Chicago Bill Murrays? Yeah.
Yes.
He's the best.
So yeah, I do wonder if there was a little bit of like, we're going to shoot this now and then shoot this and make the phone connection sort of a situation. The interesting thing that I found, because in the first one, she could only take the puddle jumper plane, which Andy had ridden. They made the bit in the cab that he had sold that business, but it was only a 2-hour drive from the airport. They made it such a big deal that nothing could be shipped into this place. And there are places like that in Alaska that you can only, the movie, The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, same thing. You can only take a puddle jumper there.
Are you talking about another movie in our... Go.
But I felt like that was negating the way they treated the town of Garland, that it was so, because then I was like, oh, well, it's only 2 hours away. This clearly isn't the North Pole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think that's exactly it. It's that playing up the North Pole. It's funny too, because like I'm such a fan of Santa in movies, but the secret of Santa in movies, where is he Santa, is he not Santa? And obviously we know Santa Claus as various names, but never Frank Holiday. That sounds like
Not Frank Holiday. Right. Yeah.
That's the one, and even when they did Christmas Under Wraps, it was one that hung up on me, and I was like, I mean, that said, Brian Doyle Murray is Santa Claus, so like it kind of
Santa
all
Claus.
plays out. Yeah.
I think also the kiss at the telescope was really cute, because it wasn't like only just the final kiss.
Yeah.
And no one interrupted it. It happened.
No Santa interrupt us.
No Santa interrupt us. No children interrupt us.
No,
but then at the end, when they did kiss, everyone was watching through the window.
Yeah, of course they were. Yeah, probably a snowman in the corner too.
Why do we have to watch people kiss?
That's your thing. You hate that. It's fine.
I hate it. I hate it.
I thought it was interesting this weekend, and we'll talk about it again. There were two, like, I don't want to call them accidental kisses, but like kisses that came an hour into the film, and it was like, and so we'll talk about that in a minute. I don't want to get too far afield. Let me ask this, Chris, because I have not seen Christmas Under Wraps in quite some time. Did Candace Cameron have poor footwear in that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
that was they carried that bit over, and she had to go to that general store, and she bought the pair of jeans with the sweatpants inside of them.
That's right. That Erica would not do. She found that to be.
Yeah.
I have a pair of those. Kind of. They're flannel.
I do too. They have flannel.
That's what mine are. Yeah. So overall, we've got some time still to spare here. We got 30 seconds, but overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I hope that there is plans to do a sequel in the future, because I do want to see. We saw Erica was explained by Faith Holiday, Frank's wife, the family history, and then she even says to Andy later, she goes, "Your mom has quite an imagination," which means she obviously doesn't believe they're the Clauses.
Yeah. Well, I also hope that it's almost like the town of Evergreen now, where I kind of want to see these side character stories evolve as well. I love the side characters, and I get it.
You don't get to talk about those side characters anymore. No. That's it. Yes, that's perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Chris, since last week we forgot like multiple times, what do you got? Thumbs up, thumbs down on this one?
Okay, I'm giving it two different scores. I'm giving it a medium because I just watched Christmas Under Wraps and it was so close to it. Yeah. But if I hadn't, I would give it a thumbs up.
I haven't watched it in a while. It was all coming back to me, but regardless, I'm saying thumbs up on that one.
Do you think Tyler Hynes' hair is this itchy?
We can ask him. It wasn't when he did Always Amore, because it was very.
I tried doing his Always Amore, but this wig is on backwards, so that way it's like a short. There we go. That's a little better.
This wig is going to come in handy. I'm going to bring it up immediately when we start talking about the next film, which is Jolly Good Christmas. But before we do that, let's spin that wheel and see what we get.
7 minutes in heaven.
What are the odds? 7 and 7.
This is proving that last week we just listened to the wheel, because now we got. It's not like we only do one of each. We just do what the wheel spins.
What the wheel
7 minutes. Do we have enough? Can we just use 7 minutes to talk about Will Kemp?
Well, perhaps. But before we do, let's get into this. Saturday, October 29th. It was a sad day because did the Phillies win on Saturday? They did. They won on Saturday. What? Oh, no. No, they didn't. They lost that one. They won on Friday.
They won Friday.
Can we switch this? Let's switch this. There we go.
It was a sad day.
I'm ready. Let's just get rid of it completely. So we have Reshma Sheedy from a ton of TV series. I think this is her first Hallmark film. I could not find.
I think so.
And then Will Kemp, obviously, and I wrote he is from My Wife's Dreams, and also The Christmas Waltz. That is the one that I always think of. Written by Ron Oliver, who is the writer and director of Timeless Christmas with Little Pavy Gravy.
Little Pavy Gravy.
Love that guy. And directed by Jonathan Wright, Love, Romance, and Chocolate with Will Kemp. So they've worked together before.
I love that one. I love Romance because that's Lacey.
Yes, and they work together. So Christmas Waltz and with Love, Romance, and Chocolate. So this one, when by-the-book architect David hires free-spirited personal shopper Angie, he finds himself on a wild ride across London in search of the perfect Christmas gift, but finds something he wasn't looking for.
Right.
Kristen Finger, are you ready?
Yes.
Let it rip. There we go.
I was very confused that Will Kemp was not British.
100%.
I was so confused when he first bumped into Angie that he was like, sorry, I'm not used to this side of the road. And I was like, wait, what?
Right.
Because I was so confused. Why couldn't he be from England?
I don't know. And you could hear his accent kind of
I know, this sweet man. It's
back.
because he knows it's sexy. And he's like, this is where my sex comes
This is what
from.
you want. Yeah.
This is what the ladies and gentlemen want. But I think maybe he wanted the challenge, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Because the thing that I kept thinking the entire time was, this must be so difficult because everyone else has the accent that's really his. Yes. And Kevin knows how good I am at accents. And when I'm trying to do
you start off great.
Yeah. So I give major props to Will Kemp for keeping it. And he did a standard one. He didn't try and do like, y'all from New York.
Yeah. He was New York, but he even said they kind of were all over the place. His parents were, all over the place. Also architects. I will say this movie started off with one of the worst Christmas songs ever, but I was so happy because it's a terrible Christmas song that I love because it's a very popular Christmas song, which is Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time. It's a terrible song. But Paul McCartney, it was Paul McCartney in a Hallmark movie. And if you want to see Paul McCartney in a Hallmark movie, take a look at Kristen, because I feel like she looks just like Paul McCartney.
Well, is it just because you want me to use my accent? Is that what it is? Let it be. Let it be.
Oh my God. This is the best.
I'm the Beatles. Simply having. I can't finish it because we don't have the right.
We would have to pay money. Yeah, thank you.
But I did write that down, that I was shocked that like an actual Christmas song was used. They must have had buco bucks to borrow
leftover bucks. Yeah. So
or because it's like, we're in England. He's British. He'll give us a sweet deal.
You already lost the accent, and we have a timer now in the screen to show how long it takes for Chris to lose her British accent.
I've still got it. Keep going.
There's a weird Harry Potter look to it.
All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to lose it. I also found, as anyone else is an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan out there, the company that David worked at was called Fitzsimmons. Okay. And I won't explain it. Only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. friends will understand that reference. So
they bump into each other quite a few times in this movie. And I like a good bump in. She with the big bear. The whole premise is essentially that I'm going to keep calling Will, David is buying a gift card for Charlotte, his 3-month girlfriend, who's also the daughter of his boss. Yeah.
That's a baller move.
It is. And he's worked for that company longer than 3 months. So it's like, ooh, I don't know, that's not a good idea. But he's going to buy her a gift card. They bump into each other. Angie makes fun of that because it is, in her mind, a weak gift. I want to say very quickly, because I don't want to lose too much time here, it's not a weak gift, depending on who it's for.
That's correct.
Because you're basically saying, this is a thing I want you to. Now, if you buy a gift card to a place, I love Target. Don't get me wrong. But if I love Target, man. But if you go, here's a $25 gift card to Target, it's like, that's not Target might be an experience.
Maybe.
But if you go, here's a $25 gift card to Treefort Land, that's awesome because it's like, I want you to have this experience here.
Yeah, experience gift cards are different, but I like the gift of shopping. So I do appreciate a gift card because I have a very weird, eclectic fashion sense.
Yes, you do. We can all see that.
And therefore, I like to pick out my own shenanigans.
So then they bump into each other again on the bus. Here's why I wanted to bring this up. The stills that Hallmark has released has this picture. And as you can see, that sign on the bus is talking about wearing a mask. It's the mask mandate in London. But this is the sign that is on that bus in the actual movie, which says mind the gap. There is no gap to mind on a bus. You mind a gap going onto the tube or the underground or subway, whatever you want to call it. In London, it's the tube. I wrote to a friend of Chris of mine's named Braun, who lives in Manchester, and I asked her, would you have a sign on the bus that says mind the gap? She confirmed no, that you would not. And then she did say, however, I don't ride the bus, so maybe they do. So take that for what it's worth.
I love that thank you, Braun.
Yeah. But if Betsy, listen, seriously, if Betsy knows something different than we do, she is more than welcome to write to us and say, listen, I didn't write this movie, but you're wrong again. So Betsy Morris, fact check us there.
I also, before we run out of time, we need to talk about a wet Will Kemp.
Yeah.
That was amazing. This piece, that part was awesome because he literally, I don't even understand how he humanly fell into the water.
He got air.
It was really funny. And when he got out, I think like they posted like a picture, or he did, and it's so good. He just looked like a drowned, gorgeous rat. Oh, yeah. And it was, oh my God. So then we get to have him go borrow a tux from his best friend at work and his husband. And then we get, of course, the gorgeous entrance of Angie in her outfit. Oh my God. The two of them together were almost too gorgeous that I stopped taking notes and just started looking at them.
Oh, that'll be interesting when we talk about another movie, because I took almost no notes because I was so in love with it. But the other thing that happened here, which I found very interesting, and I watched it like 4 times, there, David puts in his pocket this necklace completely by accident because he sees Charlotte and he's trying to hide Angie because he doesn't want Charlotte to know he's using a personal shopper to buy her gift. And they are chased by security there because they think that they stole. Right. At one point, Angie goes, look, in fact, like this, she goes, look, the king. And her hand hides her mouth a little bit, and they put somebody through the screen that was not there, like a passenger walking by, because I'm certain she said, look, the queen.
The queen.
Because when they filmed it, the queen was still alive, and that's all the time we have for this.
What? That's it?
That's 7 minutes.
I didn't even. Fine, I'll bring it up in each 3-0.
Yeah, you know our cheat. Nobody get angry at our cheat when we go 10 minutes. No, don't go 10 minutes. Okay. Whew. Okay. Then we had later on Saturday night, as we realized the Phillies would not pull out a win, which is okay. It's good. They can win it in 5. That's fine. We had Christmas Bedtime Stories on the Movies and Mystery Channel. But before we begin, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. Go to the wheel. A wink and a smile. So
we don't talk about it. You know what? I think you should go over to our friends at Dear Hallmark, listen to her podcast about it, because I feel like she probably watched it. Kevin and I watched the Phillies game.
We did. That's true. Luckily, the wheel landed how it did. Don't ruin it, Chris. But yes, I already talked to Dara over at Dear Hallmark. She is going to review it. If by the time this episode comes out, it hasn't been reviewed over there, we will link to it when it is. Yeah. But I will still very quickly just mention it was Saturday the 29th. We have Aaron Cahill from A Timeless Christmas, Steve Lund from Locking Christmas, and Schitt's Creek, Kristin. That's for you.
Love.
And Charlie Webb from How to Get Away with Murder.
I'll probably watch it. I just legit had 0 time.
I know. It was a compact weekend, so.
It was a lot. There's a lot of Philly, a lot of,
Yeah, tell us what you thought. Obviously, you'll tell us what you thought in the voting of it. So that takes us to Sunday night, Ghosts of Christmas Always. This is our feature movie. We're just going to talk about it for as long as we can, but we can't talk about it too long because I don't want this episode to be 8 million hours long. This is Sunday the 30th. We have Kim Matula in her, again, I think this is her first Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
With Ian Harding, who I believe this is also his first Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I Googled him. Yeah.
Didn't see anything else. Beth Laval, we have Reginald Vell Johnson, we have Lori Tan Chin, we have they were not listed in my thing, but I want to mention them. They play Charlie. Blair Baker, I believe their name is, and we'll talk about Charlie. This is written by Keith Hamstreet, who we know from last week's Noel Next Door, and also Zach Hugg, who has written tons of stuff for Hallmark, including the Sister Swap series. And directed by Rich Newley, most recently directed Christmas House 2, Deck Those Halls.
Oh, fun.
So in this film, Catherine is a ghost of Christmas present, and she must help one soul, Peter, rediscover his Christmas spirit. But this year has something unusual in store. Chris, let it rip.
I am obsessed with this movie.
I can tell you why.
Who wrote this?
This is both Keith Hemstreet and Zach Hugg.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I do not remember a movie that Hallmark has ever done like this, and that's why I loved it as much as I did.
This was brand new. Every aspect of it, there was almost not a single trope in it.
Yeah.
There were so many characters that, we had the two leads, but I felt all the other characters had just as much weight.
Yeah.
I just, oh my God. Also, holy lead dude.
Oh, he was
also
fantastic.
Holy lead lady.
She was
Kristin
fantastic.
loves a 50s vibe. And when she was in her little cute outfits, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I loved this movie very, very much, because when we hit about halfway, I was like, wait, they're done? And I was like, what's the spoiler?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wrong person.
Yeah. There was, it's so funny too, because there was a point where it was well over an hour into the movie, and I said to Julie, they could have truncated. No, I mean, like, I loved it, but they could have truncated a lot of that and made the part of the movie about this concept that they are Scrooging the wrong person. They were supposed to be Scrooging the father, and it was not their fault. The three ghosts did what they were told to do, but it was like a clerical error, or was it? And they are Scrooging Peter instead of Peter's father. So to make things right, they are sent back, but they're not allowed to do almost any of the stuff. So Peter's father can't see them, and they have to be clever about how are we going to do it. They use Peter. They use something they've Scrooged in the past. In the past,
like, come on, this was a Marvel movie. It honestly was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. It
and
was a lot of fun.
I also just loved the idea of, because spoiler alert, the whole thing was to actually get this angel, Catherine, to figure out her destiny.
Yeah.
And so her soulmate just happened to live in a different time period than her. And so she needed to die.
Yeah.
Which kind of like broke my mind a little bit.
Her soulmate was her best friend's grandson.
Like, that broke, but the idea of that people that die early coming I'm not a God believer, but I am a reincarnation believer.
It's interesting, so, like, they kept saying that there is no destiny. That was Catherine's big thing. I don't believe in destiny, I believe in choices. And then she does kind of come around at the end to being like, maybe destiny is part of it. But it was very, very interesting to see how they were dealing with it. It was also very interesting that the Ghost of Christmas Future knew all of this, but none of it.
Just relaxed back in his ascot the whole movie. And
we all know Reginald Vell Johnson from, we could say Family Matters, but let's be honest, from one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, Die Hard.
Come on. So good.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I also really liked was that when they were going to Scrooge Peter, he wasn't mad about it. He was like, "Are you going to Scrooge me?"
Yeah.
Like, was like game.
But he was a good person, and that was part of the issue. It was like, wait, he's a good person,
right? I just, that actor, I might be obsessed with him now.
David O'Donnell. Ian Harkin. I hope to see him a lot in the future, whether it's Hallmark or otherwise.
he looks kind of like Paul Campbell. He kind of acts like Tyler Hynes.
He has a Paul Campbell vibe to him too, just
very Paul Campbell vibe to him. And I was like, oh, me like it.
Yeah, he's definitely he's on the radar now. The music to this, the score was excellent. It reminded me of both Home Alone and Edward Scissorhands, like the more somber moments of Home Alone.
Very Danny Elfman then.
Very Danny Elfman. John Hughes did Home Alone, but very Danny Elfman for the Edward Scissorhands feel. Charlie, Blair Baker played Charlie. They were excellent, and you find out in the end. I don't want to actually give too much away because this is one of those ones where I'm like, go see this. If you did not watch this this weekend,
watch this.
Yeah, The Ghost of Christmas Always. I got to tell you, this might be my favorite Hallmark movie. I don't want to say of all time because I hate doing that when I've just seen it, but I have not felt this way about a Hallmark movie since It's Christmas Eve, which is my favorite Christmas Hallmark.
Yeah. So. No, it is. It's because it's exciting. It's new. It's fresh. Yeah. It's like when I watched Christmas Unexpected last year, I was just like, nothing could be better. Yeah. It's just, oh man, they keep topping it and topping it.
Speaking of topping it, I don't know what that has to do with it, but Chris, how about a little something called Hallmark Holiday Hunk Objectification?
Welcome to H3O, where we will objectify the male lead of each of these films because women have been objectified for way too long. Reminder, we are not objectifying the human being, we're objectifying the character. So Kevin, who would you like to start with?
We're going to just go right in order. So A Cozy Christmas Inn, David O'Donnell. I'm going to go right out of the gate with an 8 because I really liked him. I liked that he was non-committal. Now, again, I have not watched Christmas on the Wraps in quite some years, but I like that he was not quite ready to take over the family business. And in the end, he may not. So we're going to need more from him. But clearly, he was very into Erica the whole time. I did think it was a little weird that he came out of the stockroom with his, what do you call it? His sweater up over his head.
A little weird? That was very weird.
And he's like, can you, like a child. It was bizarre. But I loved it, and it still got an 8.
Just as a reminder, these are 1 out of 10 Hynes. He's getting a 6, okay? A 6, and I'll tell you why. He doesn't make decisions. He pussyfoots around, and I need someone in my life that's going to be my partner that's able to, like, speak for themselves. Yeah, it just, I didn't.
That's fine. That's fine.
I also he didn't get my motors running either, appearance-wise, but that's my prerogative. And I'm sure the actor is gorgeous, but what they did with this character, I was like, nah, I don't like it.
Okay, that's fair. Then we move on to Jolly Good Christmas with our good friend. He's not our friend. I would love him to be our friend. Will Kemp.
Please be our friend.
Will be great, beautiful Will Kemp. Kristen Finger, how you going to go with my man, Will Kemp? A 10!
10.
Whoa! Wow! Okay.
I don't care that he didn't have a British accent. I know it's under there. I love Will Kemp. Can't do wrong. I have no bad notes. Oh my God, does he look good in the tux? And then there was one point where he's like cleaning and he was just in his crisp white shirt and really well fitted black pants. And I was like, cheeks. So 10.
I'm going with a 7, but because I'm going to give the notes I'm going to bring David O'Donnell down to a 7, I think, because I felt like he didn't make decisions. Like he was all over the place and they made him almost foppish. And until he was in the tuxedo. And I was like, he's such a good looking dude. What are you doing? I will say there is a scene though, where he goes to leave Angie and they kind of go in the shake and then he kisses her on the cheek and he's incredibly apologetic. That's going to get him bonus points. Now we're up to an 8.
This is confusing.
Yeah, I'm always confused. Then we had Christmas Bedtime Stories, which admittedly we did not see. Chris, it is Steve Lund. We've seen him in other things. I figured Schitt's Creek. I mean,
yeah. Let's give the character he plays on Schitt's Creek, who has the throuple with Stevie and David. I'm gonna give him, because he's kind of a garbage human being, a 7 because he's not a great human being, but Shirtless is great. So a
great,
7.
A great human being to look at.
This is Schitt's Creek. This is Schitt's Creek, not the movie that. Yeah.
I'm going to also go with the Schitt's Creek 7 just to keep it nice and even. So.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair.
We should ask Dara. We should ask Dara to give us a. Could you give us a rating on Steve Lund?
We should. She'll probably. Yeah.
Finally, the last movie we watched, Ghosts of Christmas Always, with Ian Harding, first time Hallmark heartthrob, Kristen Finger. I mean, I'm 10, right? You're going 10.
Get your motors running.
No, don't finish. Can't afford it.
I love him.
Yeah.
Put him in all of them. Put him with Paul Campbell as like a brother combo.
Yeah. Like
a buddy cop brother. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this.
What? 2 10s? 2 10s?
No. The only reason I'm not going to give him a 10
I'm
going to give him a 9 is because he was pussyfooting a bit with like his family and stuff, right? So like that's the character trait that I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah. Which is interesting because I could have done that with Will Kemp's character too, but it's Will Kemp. So 9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go slightly under that. I'm going to go to a 9.4. I'm actually just going to do even 9, even though 9 is odd. I'm going to do a 9 because of a lot of creepy moments later in life at the carousel. I don't know what was happening there. There were times where I was like, who are you waiting for at that carousel, Bubba? So, yeah, what's that? That was
his mopey spot.
No. Yeah, too many mopey spots. And his dad had the mopey spot. You know what? 8.8. Now it's going down. Yeah. You did that. That's on you, Kristin. Back to 9. Back to 9.
He had really good sweaters, and they fit him.
Yeah, that's nice. Fitted sweater.
I love a fitted sweater. Also, this beard helps with my jawline.
Yeah, my mustache is so annoying. I hate having looked at my mustache this entire time. So my apologies to anybody else. If you just listen to this podcast, I get it. I totally get it. But whether you listen, watch, please tell other people. You can follow us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Remark the Show. You can email us anytime you want, night or day, at remarktheshow@gmail.com. And you obviously are watching us on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, this episode. Click that little thing. It'll take you like a second. Just bling. We'll wait. Did you do it?
Thank you for doing it.
Oh, yeah. It was peer pressure. And we want you to come back next week because we've got 4 more excellent movies. We have A Magic Christmas Village with Allison Sweeney. We have Lights, Camera, Christmas with Kimberly Sustad and John Brotherton. I love John Brotherton.
That one looks real fun.
It does look fun, yeah. A Maple Valley Christmas with a gentleman who has sent both of us beverages named Andrew Walker.
Also, he rides the horse. Can we talk to him about his horse riding?
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk horses. And All Saints Christmas on Sunday, November 6th. So we're into the Novembers.
We did it. I'm taking down this and I'll maybe I don't know if I'll be ready for Christmas next week. My husband will be like, what?
Yeah. Do you decorate for Thanksgiving? I've never done that. I don't.
No. What am I going to put a bunch of turkeys and brown leaves out?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
So good luck, Phillies. We have a very exciting game tonight. If you're so I just had to say that. If not, I feel like I would have been the reason if they lose.
Yeah, you would have jinxed it. So also you can check out, Kristin is directing a show at Comedy Sports Philly. You can go to comedysportsphilly.com and see Hallmarkable. I want to say Remarkable all the time.
I know. Well, that's why, because it's Hallmark. And it's remarkable, so it's Hallmarkable.
It is. It truly is. And I'm in a show called Role Play, which runs through November. I probably have a thing that I could pop up too. I'm not in all of them, but I'm in some of them. I forget my dates. So I'll just put it up.
What are the ones he's not in?
Yeah, those are the better ones. That's it.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Spooky.
Eat lots of candy.